Love is complicated and sometimes ends in tragedy. But claiming that the crime we are discussing today was a consequence of tough love is a stretch. This is the story of how two people who loved each other went from being each other's salvation to the source of their own destruction. Before we begin, we want to give a trigger warning as some of the details of the case are graphic, including murder. Let's get started. It all began with Courtney Klenny. Courtney Klenny, who goes by the name Courtney Taylor on OnlyFans and Instagram, rose to fame through her massive following on Instagram. With over 2 million followers, she is known for her alluring presence on the platforms. Courtney Klenny was born on April 21, 1996, to Deborah Bond Klenny in Austin, Texas. Her father's information is unknown, as she keeps her family private. At 13, she discovered her love for drama and stage art and started attending acting workshops and dance classes. In high school, she became more active in sports and competed as an EHP Labs athlete and personal trainer. After finishing her studies, she moved to LA and worked on increasing her social media following. According to CBS Miami, she raked in an astonishing $900,000 in 2020 and took her earnings to new heights with a whopping $1.8 million the following year. From these figures alone, it was evident that she had a large following. However, that all changed once her fans came to know about her shocking arrest in Hawaii on August 11, 2022. She was deported back to America to face a murder charge, with her attorney stating that she was receiving treatment for PTSD related to the case. The events leading up to her arrest date back to April 3rd, where police found her boyfriend, Christian Obam, fatally stabbed in her apartment at 1 Paraiso in Edgewater. Miami police arrived at Courtney Klenny's condo to find a chaotic scene, with the OnlyFans star cradling her wounded partner. Blood was reportedly visible at the location. So, how did Klenny go from model to murderer? Klenny and Obam began dating in 2020 and started living together. They had a rocky relationship, and there were reports of police visits to their Austin home for domestic violence. They later moved to Miami and lived at 1 Paraiso in Edgewater, where this tragedy occurred, resulting in the death of Obam. Miami State Attorney Catherine Fernandez Rundle stated that on the day of Obam's death, he left the apartment at 1:15 p.m. and came back with sandwiches at 4:33 p.m. Klenny made 2 phone calls to her mother, one at 4:43 p.m. for 6 minutes and another at 4:49 p.m. for 7 minutes. Then, at 4:57 p.m., she called 911 to report that Obam had been stabbed.
So my boyfriend is dying of a stab.
Ma'am.
Rundle also mentioned that during that time, the building received calls from neighbors about a disturbance, and security also called 911. In the call audio, Obam can be heard saying,
"You're gonna die. I can't feel my arm. Can't feel my arm."
Klenny responds with,
"Baby, I'm so sorry."
between sobs. Hanfield, a lawyer representing Obam family, did not respond to requests for comment, but told other media that Klenny's apology was an admission of guilt. Before the fatal incident, the police had been called to their apartment multiple times for domestic disputes. In the summer of 2021, Klenny was arrested in Las Vegas for allegedly throwing a glass at Obam head during a disagreement at a hotel. Obam, 27, who had been stabbed in the chest, was taken to and pronounced dead at nearby Jackson Memorial Hospital. Klenny was then arrested on August 10th in Hawaii with help from the U.S. Marshal Service and later booked into Miami's Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center on August 26th. The confrontation reportedly began with an argument that escalated to a violent murder. The outcome was devastating, with Klenny allegedly plunging a blade into her partner's chest, causing a severed subclavian artery. Klenny was then charged with his murder, the alleged culmination of what investigators described in their arrest warrant affidavit as an increasingly, quote, violent and toxic relationship. Rundle reported that Klenny later told police she stabbed Obam after he grabbed her throat and pushed her against the wall. Klenny claimed that she ran to the kitchen, got a knife, and threw it at him from a distance of about 10 feet. However, Rundle stated that Klenny's reported claim to police that she threw the knife from 10 feet away contradicted the medical examiner's findings that she had stabbed him at close proximity. But Prato, Klenny's lawyer, claimed that the state attorney greatly exaggerated the findings of the report and noted, quote, medical examiner is not an expert in knife throwing. Images from the Miami coroner's office obtained by the Post depicted the grim reality of the tragedy, with the lifeless body of Christian Obam lying on an examination table. The wounds he sustained were visible, including a long row of stitches above the name Courtney written in cursive on his left pectoral muscle. Because Klenny maintains that she acted in self-defense, claiming that she was long traumatized by Obam controlling behavior, the case also serves as a reminder of the importance of recognizing the warning signs of abuse and seeking help in potentially dangerous situations. Klenny's lawyers were arguing that she killed Obam while defending herself from his assault and assert that new evidence will back up their argument. In doing so, they are advocating for Klenny to be granted bail before trial. Klenny's lawyer, Frank Prato, also expressed his shock at her arrest, saying in a statement to E! News that Obam attacked and choked her that evening, and that Klenny had no choice but defend herself. Prato expressed disappointment that the state attorney sought an arrest warrant, adding that they had cooperated with the investigation from the start, and have always offered to surrender if charges were filed. He emphasized their aim to clear Klenny of the charges. Prato referred to the charges as an absolute injustice. He also noted that Klenny was fully cooperative with law enforcement and would have surrendered if needed. At the time of her arrest in Hawaii, Klenny was seeking treatment for PTSD related to the case, Prato added, saying they would defend Klenny vigorously and clear her of the baseless charge. A recently released body cam video further strengthens the defense's claims, according to Prato. The video shows a security guard calling 911 on April 1st, reporting that Klenny's boyfriend charged towards her and that staff had to intervene.
Her boyfriend comes charging towards her, and we actually try to get in the middle of it.
In the video, Klenny states that she is the victim of the situation and wants a restraining order.
I want a restraining order against Christian Obam.
An officer asks why she is afraid of Obam and if he had been physically violent towards her. She says he had, but her current concern is stalking. The police did not ask further questions about the reported physical abuse, which Pugliese considered a failure. Albert Levin, a criminal defense lawyer in Miami, not associated with the case, stated that if Klenny's defense team can prove she was the victim of abuse, she could have a strong defense. He added that the outcome of the case will heavily rely on Klenny's credibility, as she would need to testify about past instances of violence and her fear for her life. But authorities allege in the affidavit obtained by E! News that, though both parties participated in, quote, multiple incidents of domestic violence since November 2020, it was Klenny's behavior that escalated and ultimately resulted in murder.
I'm actually not having a good day, where I actually literally want to kill you, but you don't take me seriously.
Miami prosecutors, too, have a different view of the situation, claiming that Klenny had been chronically abusive toward Obam, both mentally and physically, leading up to the fatal confrontation. Prosecutors dispute the bail request, pointing to the $3 million Klenny earned from OnlyFans since 2020, saying she has both the resources and the motive to escape and want her to stay in jail. A decision on the bail request is expected from a judge in the near future. Hanfield, representing Obamseli's family, disputed Klenny's account and said Obamseli's death was, quote, unprovoked. To add insult to injury, the person responsible for killing Obamseli is walking around free and has not been arrested for causing the death of this young man, he told the publication April 14th. She has not shown any remorse for her actions, and is obvious to the family that Miss Klenny is receiving special treatment that is not afforded to the rest of us. Klenny was being held at the East Hawaii Detention Center until her first court appearance, which was slated for August 11th, according to the press release from the Hawaii Police Department. She was then to be extradited to Florida. In January 2023, Miami State Attorney Rundle released surveillance footage of Klenny and Obamseli having an argument in their apartment building elevator on February 21, 2022. In the video, Klenny can be seen physically attacking Obamseli repeatedly with her fists and feet. But Klenny's lawyers criticized Rundle's decision to release surveillance video from the building's elevator taken 6 weeks prior to the alleged murder. They argued that the video supports their case as Klenny was trying to prevent Obamseli from entering her apartment via the elevator. Prosecutors also disclosed various pieces of evidence from the case that demonstrate another picture. They hint at Klenny's controlling and harmful behavior in the relationship. In videos secretly captured by Obamseli, she can be heard shouting furiously, using racial slurs, and expressing a desire to kill him just a month prior to his death.
Yes, thank you. Coming from Georgia, thank you.
Miami State Attorney Rundle also stated that police found no evidence supporting Klenny's claims about being harmed, and the medical examiner challenged her account, stating that Obamseli's injury was more consistent with a, quote, downward strike with the knife, not a throw from 10 feet away. The chief medical examiner for Miami-Dade County determined that Obamseli died from a 3-inch deep stab wound to the chest. Rundle said the tragic end to the violent and toxic 2-year relationship between Obamseli and Klenny, with Obamseli being a victim of domestic violence, could have been prevented. The images in the trove provide a glimpse into the couple's tumultuous relationship, showing blood-spattered love letters, Polaroid pictures capturing happier moments, and intimate personal belongings. The love letters from Obamseli to Klenny, despite their conflicts, showcase the depths of his devotion to her. These images highlight the complex and often contradictory nature of relationships, and the importance of seeking help in unhealthy or abusive ones. One of the images captures what appears to be an item of clothing adorned with multiple pictures of Klenny's face. The investigators also took photos of apparent marijuana buds and various bottles of prescription medications with unclear contents. One letter from Obamseli reads, quote, I swear, Courtney, you are worth more than anything I could ever lose for your sake. These letters provide a glimpse into the emotions and complexities of the couple's relationship and the difficulties of navigating such dynamics. It appears that the relationship had been tumultuous for a long time, and the clues were left all over the crime scene. In another part of the letter, which was torn and had some missing pieces, Obamseli expresses remorse for his previous actions of, quote, gaslighting Klenny and speaking poorly of her family. It sounds like Obamseli really was trying to make amends, but no one can understand the inner workings of a relationship. Klenny was denied bail and remained in jail in Hawaii on a charge of second-degree murder with a deadly weapon, waiting for extradition. Her first court hearing in Miami was set for September 12th. Obamseli's brother, Jeffrey, called her arrest progress in a social media statement. Klenny is still currently in jail pending trial. Her next court appearance is on February 6th. It is possible to know exactly what Klenny's fans are thinking now. as opinions can vary widely. However, given the circumstances of her arrest and the release of the surveillance video, some fans may be disappointed or shocked by the events. Others may still support her and believe in her innocence. The tragedy surrounding Courtney Klenny serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities of the human experience. Life can be fragile and unpredictable, and events like these are a stark reminder that even the brightest lights can be shrouded in darkness. It forces us to confront the reality that relationships, no matter how passionate or intense, can sometimes spiral out of control, leading to devastating consequences. In this instance, the loss of a young life and the allegations against Klenny serve as a wake-up call to examine the toxic patterns that exist within our relationships and strive to create a world where love prevails and violence is never an option. Thanks for watching, and let us know what you think about the case in the comments below. We'll see you next time, and don't forget to hit the bell icon and subscribe.